I recently sat down for an interview with Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. He is in his third year presiding over the Senate and has been advancing his priorities. Yesterday, after the session, he was in Washington for the signing of an executive order banning transgender women and girls from girls' sports. As Sarah reported today, the Georgia Senate took similar action. I started the interview asking him about his support of the legislation.
Well, I mean, it's important as a father, you know, of a teenage daughter who plays a lot of sports, and is also having met many young ladies who have, you know, particularly the young ladies that came to testify from University of Kentucky and the swim team, where they actually competed in the national title here in Atlanta at Georgia Tech, and were unable to place in those swim meets because a young man who was posing as a female athlete ended up winning the national title right there. Those are things that you know, we just really believe in the fact that we need to be protecting girls' sports, and we put it in the hands of the Georgia High School Athletics Association a couple years ago, which is not a good spot to put those unelected officials in, and so we're going to move forward and do it and put it in statute where we're clear about, you know, where we stand on protecting women's sports.
You went through this last year, though. Last year, it made it out of the Senate. It didn't in the House. How are you feeling this?
I feel good about it. The Speaker has, in the all season, has said that he supports it. Now, I think he supported it last year, but for whatever reason, it didn't get all the way through the House. I think he, as well as his leadership team, is on board with it this year, and so I feel good about it being able to pass.
Okay, another study committee you had over the summer dealt with childcare. Mm-hmm. Talk about that as something that you really care about.
Yeah.
How expensive it is now.
Absolutely. There's no question. You know, child care expenses, like a lot of things, keeps going up, and it's very difficult for working mothers to be able to work full time and try to find good child care for their youngsters. I myself, being a business owner, have seen it firsthand many times. I've lost a lot of good talent because you know, a single mom or a working mother or whatever, or our family, whatever the situation is, you know, have not been able to work full time because either they couldn't afford child care, or, you know, it just was a hardship on them. So we're coming up with a child care tax credit, you know, that will hopefully enable more working mothers to be able to find affordable child care and also be able to fulfill their work desires as well.
Explain how that credit would work.
Well, I mean, it's pretty simple. How, you know, they'd file it on their taxes as far as obviously they'll be able to show that they're, you know, have them in a some sort of daycare system, and then file it on their taxes, and it's a pretty substantial savings for them.
Is there a possibility of anything more direct? You know, some parents are really struggling now.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to try to figure out something direct. We thought the child tax credit would be the best option. However, we're going to go through this legislative process, and if somebody has a better idea or better way that we can fulfill that obligation a little quicker, then we'll be open to that. But the essence was, let's try to put something in place that at least gives them a little hope on being able to have a little financial help in getting it done.
Something else you've been looking at, and that is taking something that they're talking about on the federal level, at the state level, and that's DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Talk about how that will work here.
This is something that we introduced last year as far as dealing with our state agencies on the regulatory front. One thing that's always a burden on small businesses, well, small and large businesses, quite frankly, is the cost of doing business and the regulatory structures in the state, or, you know, or local or state regulatory structures. And we're saying that we need to always, because we always add more regulations, but very few times do we take them away. and I think that it's always good for us to do a reset on our regulatory fronts through the state agencies, and that's what this bill would do. It got a lot of attention now because that's something that they're doing on the Trump administration is moving towards doing on the national front, but it was something that we passed out of the Senate last year and got hung in the House last year. But it makes good common sense. I mean, it's just one of those things. Why wouldn't you want to reevaluate your regulatory system every 4 years, and particularly make your state agencies reevaluate them?
Okay, you talked about a couple of things that were passed in the Senate and didn't make it into the House.
Yeah.
Are the two chambers going to work together
better this year? I guess we got to work on our
year?
relationships a little bit over there, Donna. No, we have a great working relationship with the House and the Speaker. He and I, he started his speakership the same time I started as Lieutenant Governor, and we've had a great working relationship. Not everything that the House sends to us we've done, and not everything that we send over there to them they've gotten done. But I would say for the majority of issues, we've been able to come up with some common ground, and you're not ever going to agree on everything, so then that's okay, but you can always reevaluate what they don't like and then try to make those changes, and so I think we'll be fine.
So this is not a honeymoon period at the beginning of the session. This is going to continue all the way through.
Oh,
you guys will be good at the end of.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like a marriage, just like a marriage, Donna. I mean,
seasons of that.
Yeah. You got to know when to keep your mouth shut and listen, and then vice versa. Also, you got to state your case too. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be fine. And I'm an easy person to get along with, and so is Speaker Burns.
Anything else you wanted to add that I didn't discuss?
Oh no, I mean, we're looking forward to doing this, getting this session behind us. I know it just started, but our main obligation is to pass the budget and and we've got some issues that we need to address in that budget. Particularly pertaining to Southeast Georgia. That's a big one with the Hurricane Helene and the damages that were done to those counties. So we're going to try to address those situations there, and it's always transportation, education, and access to health care. Those are all the big issues we always tackle, and so we'll be doing something on all those fronts this session here.